Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Awkward Tension podcast. You guys, my voice is not low. It's not usually this low. I'm kind of coming off a little bit of a cold, and that's okay. But just bear with me. I'm also a little out of breath because I'm kind of just, I think I've gained some weight. And so it's like when I sit down, my fat kind of pushes into my lungs and it reduces my capacity to breathe, which is unfortunate, and it's probably something that I should work on. If you guys noticed, Aloe is not here again today. What does this mean? What does this mean? It means that he has a girlfriend and he has his duties that he needs to fulfill, and that's okay. I understand that. I respect that. And I think that, you know, it's kind of a common trope for boyfriends to stop hanging out with their friends once they meet a woman or a man. It can be a man too, or a furry or whatever type of thing that you kind of find attractive. There is this trope that, you kind of stop hanging out with your friends once you get a girlfriend. Is that true? Yes, it is. It is true because, when you have a girlfriend, you realize that this person is like valued higher than everyone else in your life. Usually, usually. Sometimes, you can kind of date someone who's just not fun or anything. And then it's like, I'd rather hang out with my friends. And actually, you kind of develop a better balance with that. But yeah, we're going to be talking kind of about dating today. We're going to be talking about relationships because I feel like, it's cuffing season, and all around the country, people are getting cuffed up, they're getting cozy for the winter. And I think that, a big reason that cuffing season is even a thing, at least in America, is because it gets kind of cold in the winter, and cuffing season is in winter. It starts in fall. October 1st is technically when cuffing season starts. And so kind of that facilitates um, getting into a relationship, because then you have that warmth. You have that physical warmth. You have the metaphorical warmth that kind of warms your mind. It makes you feel less lonely. In the summer, it's actually like too hot. And so the air, well, there's like a lot of science that's actually backing this up, but the air is so hot and humid, it's like giving you a lot of pressure and like hugging you in a way. And so then when your girlfriend hugs you, you kind of just get a little over stimulated, and you need to say, get away. Get away, woman. And so that's kind of why there's a very common theme in relationships that when, like, in the summer, you kind of just, you break up. In the winter, you kind of get cuffed up and you start. You start again, you start anew. And it does get exhausting doing this every single season. But I don't know, that's just the way that we do it here. And I guess it's kind of nice, actually. I do like it. I think that, you know, especially in the winter, you do need somebody. You just need that. Genuinely, now that I'm thinking about it, like, actually, it is nicer to, like, be in a relationship in the winter because you do. I feel like you do need someone. Or at least you need, like, I don't know, my hands get cold, and so I like to hold hands and stuff. But, sorry for the TMI there. Yeah, so Aloe is gone. He's with Jenny right now. They're doing kind of an anniversary because it was their anniversary recently. Um, and yeah, I think that, man, I don't know how to do this though, because I don't know if I can talk about relationships really. Because, like, I don't really know if I'm just I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm trying to put that out there. And also, based on the context of our past haters and stuff, I feel like I need to play it safe. Um, you guys, I'm a little sick. I'm a little sick. What did you think about, oh, I just feel terrible, you guys. I really do. I'm sorry. I can't pretend. I can't pretend anymore. About 5 days ago, I woke up and my body was so sore. It was like I had done a workout. And mind you, I haven't done a workout in weeks, months even. And I wake up, my head is spinning, my like shoulders are so sore. Mind you, I have not done any exercise. And so I'm like, shoot, like what's going on? The next day I wake up and I start to develop this cough. The nose too. You guys, it has been hell. The past couple of days I have been fighting for my life. We just filmed another episode, another vlog. Izzy filmed for us. I'm gonna be quite honest, Izzy. The footage is pretty blurry. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you because I believe in mutual respect and accountability. Um, it's pretty damn blurry and yeah, okay. It's good though. It's very good, and I appreciate that you did that for us. That was really, really kind. Also, I got this new light that's literally right there, and it's so bright. It's like I don't know how people do this because actually the light is so bright that it's really it's giving me like a headache right now. But I'm gonna just push on. I'm gonna persevere. I'm gonna persist. Yeah, so today I wanted to talk about relationships, and I feel like we still could, but I also feel like I need to talk about something that very personal to me, okay? And and yeah, I don't know. Okay, you guys, there's going to be a cut in the video there because I had a bit of a cough attack. I had a bit of a moment that I'm not vulnerable enough for you guys to see. Now, something actually very interesting that I'm going to talk to you guys about was, here at CU Boulder, we kind of have these talkers come in and they talk to us. They do like lectures and stuff. But this time it was different. It was very interesting because we had a very famous and interesting person come in and talk named Giancarlo, who played the chicken shop owner in that movie, that show. What's that show called? Hunger Games? Hunger Games is the only name that's coming to mind. Like, it's obviously not that. Breaking Bad. So, Giancarlo, the actor from Breaking Bad, the guy that wore glasses, he owned the chicken shop, and he did a lot of crimes. And he was also in the other one, Better Call Saul. Also, a bunch of other stuff. Now, he came here and he did a talk in one of the most beautiful auditoriums that I've seen. Actually, I didn't know that this existed, but it does. It's a very, very beautiful like area on campus. It's just a huge theater. Had no idea existed. I'm a senior, by the way. Um, and he gets there, and it's kind of slow at first. I'm not even gonna lie. It's like he's kind of warming up because he's a human too, and he gets shy, just like me, right? It's not easy for me to do this and talk in front of, like I'm talking in front of 200, 300 people. Like there was probably that many people in the auditorium, probably more though. I don't know actually. But like, yeah, like we're pretty much doing the same thing. It's just a little different. And so, yeah, like he does get nervous and he took a second to warm up. And there was actually two student panelists, like question people. Okay, there's going to be another cut there because, again, I'm out of breath. First of all, I had to go get some water because I started coughing again. But Giancarlo is a very interesting guy, and I'm going to tell you why. There's two student speakers that are talking to him, and he is just incredible. I'm going to actually look up the name of the actor, of the character that he plays, because I just actually think it's important to know for you guys. Also, FusiTube, you got super strong, bro. Fusi, he had a lot of problems, but he like locked in, and I guess he just like stopped eating that much, and he became a bodybuilder, and now he's shredded. Does that fix all of his problems? Probably not. But I don't know. Let's see here. Breaking Bad cast. Okay. Bryan Cranston, that's not him. Aaron Paul, that's not him. Here we go. Giancarlo Esposito, which is wow, he's 67. He looks so young and spry for 67. That's amazing. And he played the actor, or he played the character of um Gus Fring. Gus Fring. That is the character that he played. So he played a bunch of different other characters. He's been in Spike Lee films. Just super like well-rounded guy. He first got his start acting um as a kid. His mom and dad both worked in the theater in some capacity. Theater, not television. He grew up in Europe, but he came to America and to New York. Now, my question is how much of a Nepo baby is he? Because he didn't mention, he just like where he started talking about his career was Broadway. Like, he didn't talk about anything before that. And like, if you guys know anything about me, is I'm an actor. Like, that's what I've done for most of my life. And so you can't really just like start at Broadway. Like, that's not really how it works unless you're no, you got to have a connection. You got to have a connect or be like a child actor who just like randomly like gets like who it's like a one in a million type of thing. So, first of all, he's very dapper and you should look at his Instagram because it actually makes me very happy to see his Instagram. It's just very like you can tell that he probably has like a social media manager, but he's also like posts his own stuff. It's just funny. It's nice. He wore his glasses on the stage the entire time. And, he first starts talking. The panelists are kind of asking him, simple warm up questions and stuff. But yeah, he apparently. Okay. Something that's actually hard about doing a podcast alone is like I have all these bodily functions that I'm doing, like I'm burping, I'm like coughing, and it's like what do you do? How can you fill this time? You can't. So I pretty much just have to like either cut it out or conceal myself, hold myself back, which is exactly what Giancarlo does not want you to do. And that's a great tie back into what I was talking about. You guys, it's hard for me to stay on topic a lot of the time. And that's something that I've noticed again, even right now. I'm talking off topic again. So I'm going to get back on to Gus Fring. The question that I wanted to ask him was what was the recipe for the chicken that he made, but he wasn't able to share that information. Genuinely, though, it was super inspiring. It was $2 ticket. I went with my friend, and we were kind of just sitting there watching, and I started to feel the vibe in the room that there was there was inspiration happening, and he started getting more serious. The questions became more directed and poignant, and what he said was very motivational. He didn't have to do that. Like, he did not have to say these things. He didn't have to try as hard as he did. At one point, he even like stood up and was like, it was like he was like standing for like 5 or 10 minutes, just getting really into it. Talking about don't hold yourself back. All this Tony Robbins type of inspirational stuff. But like at least this time it was a $2 ticket and just genuinely interesting. Not that Tony Robbins isn't interesting. It's just like we all know what he's doing. But yeah, so it was interesting to hear about his acting and what he does. He kind of said that his motto for acting is he acts because it's a way to kind of combat the things in his life. when he was doing the character of Gus Fring from Breaking Bad, he said that he kind of drew on this anger that he felt for his parents' divorce. And I think that's a very good way to, one, as a human, you know, um, cope with life. I think that that is a very, very helpful thing that actors can do. It kind of teaches things about yourself, even though you're playing a different person. And number two, it kind of it allowed him to really get into the role and just it's. I mean, he was acting, but it was like these are emotions that are generated from it from personal experiences, and that is the most powerful type of acting that you can see. It totally. I mean, I've always had this opinion. You know, I wanted to be an actor when I was a kid, and I've always, that was always what I wanted from day one. Like, I would just like fall asleep every night, like thinking about it, you know? And I kind of moved away from that a bit because I realized that my desire was mostly ego driven at the time. It was because, I was, getting bullied in school. It was because I didn't have any friends. And I really did not have any friends. And it's like I realized that my desire to be an actor was a fully ego driven thing because I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be liked. I wanted the admiration. I wanted the respect. Um, I wanted people to want to listen to me, you know? And so I kind of moved away from that after I did some camping stuff and I kind of, I just went in the woods and pooped in the ground and I kind of reset my mind. But, now that I'm back in society, and, it's been about 4 years since I did that camping trip, and I realized my desire to be an actor kind of came back, and I actually did an acting. I was in a TBS movie in Japan that's going to be coming out soon, but I just noticed that my desires and my motivators kind of changed. Before they were very egotistical, but now they're more. I mean, to be quite honest, like there is a portion of me that is still very driven by the idea of, uh, not fame, but because I think that fame is almost always terrible and like yeah, I think that it really kind of ruins your life in a way. But I think that, public acclaim, and I think like, doing something excellently and then having that be acknowledged um is something that I still do desire, to be honest. But like also now it's more about using acting as a catalyst to coping with life, And I think that my point of talking about this is, damn, bro, why, wait, what? Why am I talking about this? Anyway, my point talking about this is just that I think, and this has been my personal philosophy for a while, that to be a successful actor, I think that going down the path of like schools and conservatories, like specific for acting, which is what I tried to do, um, I think that that is just certainly not the path. That's not the path that you should go down. I think that to be a successful actor, to be somebody who can actually act and affect people on the screen or stage, is to experience life, to experience things fully, to experience hard things. I mean, it's not like you should go out and fucking uh, cut your damn leg off, but I'm saying like just experience life and take that and cope with it through acting. That's my motto. Damn, bruh. Why did I start talking about this? Anyways, this is supposed to be like a comedy podcast, but it's okay. I mean, Isla's not here. Whatever. I don't even care. Um, Yeah, so he kind of, one of my favorite quotes that he made um, during the night. I can't like directly quote it. I did record it on my phone, like on my voice memos. I did because I knew I was like, this is insane. This is insightful, and so I just wanted to hold on to that. But I also I just want to share this concept that he shared with us there, which is that like you are don't wait to be perfect to do what you need to do what you want to do. Like don't wait to be perfect because his point and one that really stuck with me is just like that you already are. Like you deserve to be in the room with the most successful people. Like you deserve that. And if you go in there with that idea, you can get a lot done. You can truly get a lot done. And that, like, you know, I think that you can talk your way into a lot of situations that you would be super surprised about. Like, if you can speak eloquently, hold eye contact, wear something like, even honestly, clothes don't even matter in this situation. I'm just saying, just based on talking. If you can use the right words, you can almost get yourself anywhere. And it can be places that are super hard to get. Area 51, bro. A please and thank you go a long way at Area 51. You'd be surprised how many people get up to the freaking gates and they're like, they're very demanding, very rude. I show up, hello, officer. How are you? The how are you gets them because nobody ever asks them that. It's always very serious there. And so, when you're like, hello, officer, lovely weather today. It's in the desert, but still, it's just conversation. You're like, would you like some water? They're like, yes, I would. You take a sip. You give it to them. They take a sip. It's drugged. They pass out. Boom, you're in. You walk through the gates, right? Then you have to walk a couple of miles. After you walk those miles, you enter the actual facility. Now, this is heavily guarded, but what you're going to do is you're going to keep that smile, right? In this situation, you kind of do need to wear nice clothes. You're going to want to wear a doctor's suit. Now, not just any doctor's suit, but just a full white gown, and you're going to be wanting to wear like the head, it's like what they wear for surgery if you're going to go into surgery. You're going to say, hello, officer, I'm unfortunately lost. I was just dissecting an alien earlier today, and I took the wrong exit, and, I was actually going out for a smoke just in between the operation, and I messed up, and I'm sorry. Sorry is a big one there, because, again, not a lot of people that make it that far are willing to willing to put in the extra work and say, sorry. I'm sorry, They're not willing to kind of do that. So you're going to say, I'm going to take responsibility here. It was a mistake and it's not going to happen again. I just wanted to take a smoke break. They're going to let you right in through that second gate. Now you're going to be walking in the actual facility. You're going to be surprised because the actual facility is very, like, it looks like a set. It looks like a set in Hollywood. If you've ever seen, like, behind the scenes of a movie, and you see all these big buildings on like a stage, like a sound stage, it's going to pretty much just look like that. And as you walk, you're going to start to see these golf carts. Just hop in any of them. They all have a key underneath the seat that you can just take. And so you're going to hop in one of those and you're going to drive straight. If anyone asks you to stop, say, sorry, I have an operation to complete with another alien down the hall. And they're going to leave you alone. But yeah, my point by saying all this is just that the words that you say can get you a lot of places. They can. Also, being white helps. And being a man. Being a man. Being a man helps too. Now, If you are neither of those things, do not worry because there's a lot of really good makeup that you can get nowadays and you can just blend right in. All right, moving on. Giancarlo, thank you so much for coming to Boulder. I know you're watching, so I'm just going to say you really didn't have to do all that much. Like, you were awesome. You did compliment the girl, the one of the student that was interviewing you. You complimented her shoes a lot. And I just thought that was like an interesting choice to do. I think that it was an interesting choice. Anyways, yeah, thank you so much. No, like you did actually you did actually help people, I feel like, and the vibe when we exited the theater was like very changed. It was like people were motivated. Everyone was like talking about it. And I think that's very powerful to like have a voice so uh just have such a unique and special voice that you can quite literally change the mindset of a group of humans in a room. I think that that is special and motivational for sure. And then me and my friend walked around to the back of the building because we were like, okay, he's definitely going to be coming out of here and we want to say hi. So we go back to the back of the building. We see him leaving in his car. He's like, go stream whatever. Like he's like plugging a new show that he was doing. Go stream blah, blah, blah on Netflix. And I was like, that's my boy. That's my boy right there. I wish I talked to him. I was planning. I had my resume with me. And um, and honestly, it's kind of a missed opportunity. It is. It is. But it's okay. Like I will build that for myself. And that was another thing I was thinking about. I was like, I don't need this guy. I don't need this guy. And I really don't. I really don't. Anyways, oh, you guys, I'm hella sick. Can you hear it in my voice? I don't know if much longer I can do this, but I'm gonna keep trying. Me and Aloe just filmed a YouTube video today for the channel. Izzy filmed for us again. Izzy, it was not that very good. It was not very good. Super blurry, and that's okay though, because we're gonna make it kind of funny. We're gonna turn it into a comedic spin. Um, so yeah. Anyways, though, we got some great video and clips from that. And it was funny. Basically, we wore like these outfits. We'll keep it a secret until we post it. And we kind of are doing this character, and we're going to do a challenge, do another challenge. And I'm thinking that, you know, as this progresses, we can kind of develop more audience engagement and get it going. Oh, something I forgot to address right away. Like, we took a break. I did not upload last week, and that was because we posted, well, we did upload, but it was like it was not a podcast. And that was, the reason for that is, I think I'm balding, you guys. Oh my God. Oh no, there wasn't any hair. I don't know. I just feel like some hair falls out sometimes, and it's like weird. But yeah, I just posted the vlog instead of the podcast, and it's honestly, it's been a long couple of weeks. I'm still recovering, I feel like, kind of from like all of that stuff that was happening in the beginning of the year with like my cyber safety, if you will. And I'm still just like, it did like it was like super scary. It was. And it was hard. I feel like it did kind of change me in a way. And I think that I developed some like unhealthy coping mechanisms that I'm still working on breaking, you know? And that's okay. Uh, I don't really care. Like, I'll just do it. The last thing that I would do is let another person ruin my life or dictate my life in any way. Like, especially now, on one hand, yes, it was traumatizing. It was like just harassment, like to the greatest degree. And like I haven't talked about even half of the stuff that I was experienced then, and like the things that I've seen and read and stuff. Um, but on the other hand, like yes, it was it was extremely difficult to deal with, but also I feel like it taught me a lot about how to deal with things in these situations because I've never experienced anything like that. I probably will never experience anything like that again. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I feel like that's fine. You don't really need to know the context, and I'm not going to talk about it more because it might, like, I don't know, like, that's me talking about it last time, like, caused more harassment and problems, which is interesting because, yeah. But, anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, I feel like it kind of just it made me stronger. I feel like I learned how to deal with that situation, and dealing with that situation kind of requires you to look back on yourself and turn back to yourself and say, "Hello, are you really going to let this affect you?" And then it also kind of like I'm going to be honest with you, it makes me like super pissed, like really really angry, and that and I feel like I can kind of use that anger in a positive way and direct that towards the things that I care about to make me just try harder, to make me just try to, you know, not be a fucking failure. Because I don't want to let them that win. I don't want that to beat me. And so it's like it even gives me more motivation to like succeed exponentially in the things that I want to succeed in, you know? So I refuse to let that affect me. Okay. Um, Hollow Weekend. Did I talk about Hollow Weekend? I don't think so. I did not go out. Let me tell you about my Hollow Weekend. Thursday, I did go out. Thursday night, a bunch of friends come to this house. And by that I mean they came to our house. And by that I mean they entered our home and they hung out in our house. And then we go to a party that was just across the way. So yeah, I'm with Grayson and Uma. We go through the woods. We get a lot of burrs on us, or at least Uma got a lot of burrs on her. But we don't really care because we've already had a couple of drinks. I had a half of a cider. That'll frick you up. It will. It will. And so, especially on Lexapro, actually. So, like, alcohol really affects me because of the Lexapro. And, yeah, so you do need to be careful if you're taking Lexapro. Because, like, one beer, you already start to feel it, like, heavy. Um, but yeah, we get to that party and we start doing some shenanigananery. We start sneaking into rooms. We open the boiler room. They get mad. The house owner gets mad at us. Then we drink from a keg, and I let me just say I overserved myself. And we go to another party, and the Uber driver, who I presume is gay, although I have no idea, is just loving Uma's outfit and just kind of roasting her. We thought that was really funny. We get to another party. This party is okay. We play Rage Cage for a bit, which is essentially a game where you try to get the ball in the cup, and if you don't, then you drink. But nobody knew how to play because all the kids were, everyone was too young. Let's just say it was like and they were legally drinking, but it was just like these were not these yeah, which that's okay though because everyone has the right to partay. So then I left and I went home, and that's okay. I wake up hungover. AF. A to the F. A to the F power. Okay? It was bad. It was very bad. And I had a decision to make. Do I go out the next night? Because Halloween weekend is a 4-day experience, at least at Boulder. And I'm sure at a lot of colleges. So it's like, do you go out? Do you decide to go out? I'm like, hell no, I'm not going out. Everyone tries to get me to go out. I don't go out. I stay home. I watch a movie. You guys, Friday is actually Halloween, so that was unfortunate. I mean, but that's okay. I didn't really want to. Let me just be honest with you guys. My ideal Halloween goes like this. I wake up at 7:30 in the morning. I do yoga for 25 minutes. Then I go in the sauna. Then I go in the hot tub. Then I go in the pool. Then I go in the hot tub. Then I go outside and cool off. Then I go back in the sauna, back in the hot tub, back in the pool, back in the sauna, cold shower in my house, walk around naked for a second, put some clothes on, open up the windows. Remember that I actually didn't even close the blinds, so everyone got to see anyway. Then I make breakfast. It's about 7:45 at this time. I make breakfast. My breakfast consists of 3 ingredients: eggs, wheat, flour. No, wait, no. My breakfast consists of like 3 ingredients: eggs, bread, and ketchup, actually. I'm going to be honest with you guys. To cut down on my calories, I don't use butter that much. I don't put it on my food because I'm just trying to be a skinny legend, and it's hard. I was a really fat kid, and I just want to be skinny, and so I don't use butter. And ketchup has, actually a fair amount of calories because it has a lot of sugar. But yeah, so basically, you cook that, and then you put the ketchup on, and you eat it. It's good. It's crunchy. It's about 9 at this time. Then I go for a walk. I go for a walk for about 45 minutes. Then I come back and I do more stretching and more yoga. Then at 12 o'clock, I have my first actual meal, which consists of 1 Trader Joe's peanut butter cup, milk chocolate. Then I go climbing for 7 hours. At this time, it's 7 p.m. Now, what's the best thing to do at that time? Watch a movie. Boom. You watch either Tron or that movie where it's like, you look lonely. I can fix that. You know that? It's like Blade Runner? Wait, Blade Runner? Let me look that up. And I've seen that movie. It has that guy that was in Barbie. You guys remember Barbenheimer? That was so annoying, dude. Like, obviously Barbie is better. Like, what? Yeah, so it was Blade Runner. And I haven't seen it all yet because I don't know, it's just like it's a lot for me. But, and I really don't like how Jared Leto is in this movie because Jared Leto is, dude, first of all, he has a lot of very controversial opinions. He also did a crime against a woman. Honestly, I really do not like Jared Leto. Also, dude, like he was not a good Joker at all. Like he was the worst Joker by a fair margin. And apparently he sent like all of the cast members in that movie like used condoms. What? Bro, I get it. You're trying to do like method acting or whatever. But dude, like no, like don't do that. Like I'm sorry, but what are you doing? Like how does that further your character at all? It doesn't. It doesn't. It's just weird. So, yeah, that reminds me of a time when I was in all state choir because I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm actually a very good singer. And I made all state both years in my high school experience, which is kind of good. I mean, like, it's Minnesota, there's a lot of good singers there. And yeah, essentially basically what Allstate is you take the best singers from the state and you put them at a college for like a week and you learn 7 songs together. And it's just a really cool experience because you finally get to sing with all the best singers. And it's like, cuz in high school it's like there's a fair amount of kids that don't care and that like don't aren't good at singing and stuff, and so you can hear them and you can hear it in the choir, and so then you get to go to like a special place. You get to go to. We went to St. Olaf, which has a really really famous choir, and we basically just got to sing. So anyway, that reminds me though, because we're all staying in dorms, right? And I come over to this guy's dorm, right? And everyone's like freaking out. There's a bunch of people in there like freaking out. I open the door and they show me a used condom in on the bed, right? Now realizing, going back, thinking about how we were like, how old are you in high school? Like 17? No, like 16 or 15 even. I'm realizing now that it was definitely fake. Cause like what? Like no. But still, it was just like at the time I was still like, yeah, that's fake. Yeah. Anyways, I feel like I never believed in Santa. The only guy I believed in was what was it? It was, you know what it was? It was the Irish guy, like what is it? The Lucky Charms guy? St. Patrick's Day. When I was a kid, my parents would do St. Patrick's Day, and it was like they had this trick where they dropped a bunch of food dye into the milk and it settled at the bottom. And then like when you would shake, like when they shook the milk, it would like become green. And they would also do it in like the cereal. So they would have like the food dye underneath and then they would put in the cereal and then they would have me pour the milk and it would turn green like right in front of my eyes. And that was fucking black magic to me. And so I was very excited about that fact. And so that was kind of like the only one that I believed. I believed that for a while and I always wanted to know how they did that. Oh, I don't know if I did believe it because I believed it for a bit, but then I was like, damn, how are my parents actually doing this? In hindsight, I should have just like thought about it because it's pretty logical, but I don't know. I have a feeling that I have a pretty low IQ. Like I don't know if it's below average. I'd certainly not above average. Like and I'll always ask my parents because we took these neurological tests when we were kids to like show things about us, and like that's where I was diagnosed with like ADHD, with I have impulse apparently I had impulse control problems. um I don't think so, but I don't know. Sometimes I do say stuff and it just comes out, so maybe. But anyway, yeah, and I know they did an IQ test and I just like I never like was able to find the form, the paper, and my parents would never tell me. They just like say they don't know. but I'm sure that I'm like below average because I just have a bad memory. I have bad pattern recognition, a lot of different stuff. But that's okay. Like I feel like I have good social skills. So that's nice. You know, I don't know. I would like to be smart though. Like that would be nice. And it's unfortunate that I'm not. Um I mean, I don't know that I'm not, but it's like pretty obvious based on like how I do in school. I don't do that bad in school, but it's like if I ever tried to do a math class, I was very very interested in taking an electrical engineering class because I have some free credits to take. And I just, like, I asked ChatGPT to give me a test, like, to kind of gauge my knowledge and see if I would have, if I would do okay in electrical engineering class, just a basic one. And I got like, I got like, I got like 6 out of 8, right? Which might sound fine, but it's like these were like basic questions, like super basic. And so that kind of just like that showed me something. Also, you have to do a lot of math in electrical engineering, which is so sad because I love it. I love building circuits. Right now I built an EMF microphone and stuff, and it's just I don't know, it's like it's very sad to me that I can't do that. But I'm also just being very self-deprecating right now, and like I do it. I like I'm like relatively good at it, I think. And I'm like relatively good at visualizing electricity, understanding concepts about electromagnetic fields and induction and like the concepts. I'm yeah, but I'm bad with like other stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, enough of the pity party. You guys, I'm going to go to bed. I'm so tired right now. I'm exhausted. I just want to say though that like genuinely the experiences from like the past couple of weeks, although they've been very challenging, the past couple of months, although they've been very challenging, they have kind of awoken something inside of me that like has this desire to win, to succeed. And like I do feel very angry about it and stuff and like about like the fact that I literally like did nothing. I like did no retaliation. I mean, it depends on how you kind of gauge that, but like I genuinely did not like do any retaliation, especially on the scale of what was done to me. And so that like definitely gives me anger and like, you know, but also it's given me so much like uh motivation and like and genuinely like joy to push forward because I think that that's how, I mean, look, come on. Life is a constant uphill battle. It's Sisyphus to the extreme. And you know, it you can't, I mean, yeah, like would I have kids? Definitely not, because I think that making someone alive is just not worth it for them. I think it's kind of rude for them to have to like put them through an experience like this to be alive, being alive. It's like, why would you do that to them? Like they're literally just they are nothing, and then you are creating them and causing like the most pain by doing that. I just don't think that life is a net positive, or at least I haven't experienced that yet, so maybe my ideas will change. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I really think that it's not worth it for them, you know? It's like life is way too hard. Anyway, though, like it's about how you can, I'm here now, and so I'm gonna just fucking try my best and not let these things get in my way. And I'm going to use them and prevail. You know, dude, Sisyphus was so ripped though. I feel like that's something that people kind of overlook. It's like, damn, bro, like he was so ripped, and so that's another thing. Like, you know, is it potentially a good thing to roll the ball up the hill? Does it make you strong? Just food for thought, as literally nobody watches this. Anyway, it's 6:05. Good night, everyone. Please sleep well. And if anyone actually watched until the very end of this one, I genuinely am impressed, because I feel as though this was a pity party of an episode. But that's okay. Sometimes you need to just have a little pity party and put it on the internet for everyone to see. So, bye bye.